service portfolio management. The purpose of service portfolio management is to maintain information of all services which is currently planned, offered, and which are already obsolete services from current organization. In fact, service portfolio contains much more information which enables future investments of customer organization. For example, let us take network as a service, which has all the services like monitoring, performance of network, and like network as a CI, network as a services, all sorts of things. What is ongoing spent? What are the business and services under network? Like if you take the example of SLA, who is the primary sourcing partner, contract information, support model, current performance of various services like metrics or KPI information, all that is supposed to be part of portfolio. So basically what we are trying to say is that it creates a single source of information and track the status of planned, current, and retired services. Actually, all this information enables for customer to take any right business decision. For example, what can be done, to, increase network services, horizon, or how do you really understand the market and enhance or probably replace certain services? How do you trigger certain improvements based on whatever customer in the sense the customer's customer expects? How do you really look at the current service provider and the service provider which is there in the market, especially of network? So you do a comparison and you look at some potential of potential service provider itself from the market, and how do you really offer something better? So all this actually creates a single source, as I said earlier, and end of the day, basically service portfolio offers which is going to come as planned, current, which are the offering, which is like a service catalog or a restaurant menu, and retire, which is nothing but, no more operational services. If we go forward, let's understand the considerations which are supposed to be done during SIAM implementation. So any customer always expects service portfolio management kind of a services. It's basically owned by customer, because end of the day, customer only decide what they want to offer it to their customer and what they want it from service provider in terms of services which they can give it to their customer. So of course we need some explicit information based on like a dependency which they have, like interdependency between two service provider, and some of the responsibilities of the service provider to also being kept into this service portfolio. So end of the day, service portfolio should have up-to-date information. Like, let's understand some of the characteristics, right? Which is actually part of service portfolio. So what are the services which are offered as a service characteristics? So consider 24/7, maybe 9x5, premium services, or specific services of prime customers or VIP customers. Or maybe there are some unique service provider like original equipment manufacturer who only provides certain type of services, maybe a product-based services, right? all these are some of the characteristics which also supposed to be documented in the portfolio. Some sort of a innovation or a automation which is planned by service provider, in the future, by which is probably not even gone live, but customer is expecting, and service provider has already given some dates. So that kind of also information can be part of this planned part of service portfolio. So one of the important aspect is some of the processes which are applicable and to be aligned, aligning to the tools or the tools which are running, some data and information which is also to be available for actually offering aspects, or maybe retiring aspect, or newly introducing some service provider, right? So all sorts of information also supposed to be there. Launching probably some cloud services for infra or a SaaS-based ServiceNow kind of a product support or application development support. How are they going to launch? What are the terms and conditions? What are the prerequisites? How the integration could be done? Like it will be plug and play or specific process-based integration to be done. They also have to be documented briefly into service portfolio, because those alignment with processes for newly introducing services should also be part of the overall portfolio. So let us understand the going forward. Let us understand some generic process information which will help you to understand the service portfolio management better. So let's focus on activities. First part, as we have primarily 3 activities if you look at. So first will be the creation of service portfolio. Then you have to, once you have created, obviously you have to maintain. Maintain means it should be up to date all the time, anytime. And when you are doing this portfolio updates, and how frequently you update it. So obviously you need to have a review mechanism. So reviewing a service portfolio. So when you do all this, obviously you need to have some inputs which will help you to do these activities. So of course, there will be a strategic requirements, or rather alignment of a customer strategy and some specific customer requirement. Then current or futuristic demand data, right? How the data, which are expected. Let's say futuristic telecom-based data plan. If you look at when the mobile services or fixed line services which has come in the market, what happened? It was not unlimited, right? There were some sort of a speed which you buy it, right, today, and you have an unlimited speed, right? I mean, you buy the speed, but you have an unlimited data. But earlier that was not the case. So how do you decide, or how any customer offer this to the end customer based on the demand which are available in the market? So that kind of a thing, which is expected as an input. Then obviously frequency, how frequently you do a review. Then current offering, which is nothing but a catalog, like a service catalog, restaurant menu, right? What are the contracts which are keep running, will be coming as an input, and what are the new or change services which you are expecting to be launched, or what are the services which are changed should be added into portfolio. Naturally, when you'll have an input, you have activities, then obviously you'll have a outputs to take care. So there'll be a service portfolio. With that you have started. So now you have an updated service portfolio. You'll have some approved services, which is nothing but going to be operational now, going from planned services to the operational, or it will come in the category of offering catalogs. Then certain services at certain point of time you will terminate. So they are like obsolete or retired services. So that information will be also coming. And obviously you will have some reports which will be generated by this service portfolio. So when we look at this, you need to understand how the overall process can be, measured. And this measurement can be done by certain metrics, right? So few metrics like number of planned services, and planned services in the sense how many services it's decided to be introduced in the future. What are the current services? I mean, number of current services, number of retired services. These are very standard, measurement. Then number of portfolio opportunity. So what you are feeling that, you look at the demand and you think about some of the prospect which you would like to launch it in the future. So, based on that, your portfolio would be, becoming rich, or that has to be part of the portfolio. So we are talking about those opportunity also to be considered as a measurement. And then you have to look at some of the services which you would like to launch. You probably don't have an expertise, but you would like to look at what's the expertise which you have, what's the expertise which is available in the market, and you try to do a comparison, and you try to check what are the commercial viability of these services. Is this feasible? Will it be profitable if I really go for certain kind of services to add it into the portfolio? So that kind of a measurement is also required. And end of the day, who will be doing all this, right? There is a dedicated role called service portfolio manager, which is generally there and driven by customer organization and sitting in the customer organization, or probably facilitated by the service integrator. And that's how the entire process works.